Hello and welcome back, guys. This is Ibrahim Quraish here, and this is going to be a really different video because today I'm going to introduce you to my home lab. So this I have been working on this for a little while now. To be honest, this is pretty much sponsored by vRetreat. Thanks a lot for sorting this out, Patrick. I'll put the description of vRetreat website on the link. You can go and check out his YouTube channel as well. There's a lot of new products which Patrick brings to us, but let's get back to our IntelNUC. So this is Core i5 10th generation, which is the latest generation which we have from Intel. But the thing about IntelNUC, this is a mini PC, of course, but it does have a very small form factor when compared to the old servers which we use for our labs. It is a lot efficient. It is obviously, as you can look, it's even tinier than the box. We'll look at it in a minute. Have a look at this machine here. This is a Z850 which I have here. Obviously it's raising the other way around because the heat it generates comes out from here, and it is working like a nice heater in my room, of course. But that is Z850, HP Z850. Obviously it has good performance, but the problem is the energy consumption of that machine is 1150 watts, which is a lot expensive to run with electricity. But this little NUC here only uses 95 watts. So let's have a quick look. Now, as I was mentioning, the form factor is very tiny. It has a network card and two USB cards at the back, a HDMI, as you can see. HDMI, as you can see, and in the front it has USB-C and USB as well. So it has a power button as well here. The interesting thing about this, which you need to remember if you do want to install ESX on this particular machine, is this is not officially supported anymore by VMware. So I did had a hard time getting this up and running with ESX version 7. I had to custom build the ISOs. More about it we'll find out later in the coming sessions. Now in the box you will find a tiny screw which basically goes in for your M2 device. Now if we open this, we will find that there is no memory in this and there will be no hard drive unless you purchase it while you're buying it from the website. It will not come, it is just bare bones. It doesn't have any memory or storage. Now there are two versions of IntelNUC. This is the IntelNUC standard edition, I guess. With this you also get a tall version which is a little bit taller than this, but what that gives us is an ability to put a SSD underneath here, which basically goes nicely tucked in when you open this back cover, and then it gets sealed in, and you have a SATA cable which basically you can connect in there as well. So before I open this, I just wanted to quickly show you. So normally we use hard drives like these, and these comes in two variations. You get 7,000 RPMs, 10,000 RPMs, and this one over here is actually a 15,000 RPMs. Now the speed which you get this with this is a lot less when compared to what you get on SSDs, because obviously they are solid state, there's no spindles, it's good performance. But in my NUC for my lab, which I have here, there's no option to use the SSDs. So I'm going to use a Sino solid state M2. M2 basically is NVMe, which is even faster. The reports basically suggest that it is 5,000 Mbps, which is like 5 gig data transfer rate. So this is a 1 gig M2 device which I have, and of course this doesn't come with memory. So this is the first official version which supports up to 64 gig. So I have Corsa 32 gig modules, 2 of them here, which I'm going to install on this NUC here. So let's get started. Flip this around. Cool. Huh? Okay, so I have opened the screws. As you can see here, we have front, which shows this is the front. So you need to remember you have the power button here. So this is the front. When you open this, the tall version basically has a casing here where you can set your SSD here, and then you have the SATA cable somewhere, which I found. It was, let me figure it out. As I was saying, so the SSD goes back here if it is a tall version, but this isn't. It does have a slot for the SATA cable, but it doesn't come with a ribbon, and it has a cover on the top, the white cover, as you can see. So we obviously can't use that. What we will be using is NVMe M2 SSD for the hard drive, which goes here. As you can see, there is a screw here which we'll be undoing, and then we'll be installing that. So let's get started with installing this first. By the way, I bought this off eBay, so it was only shipped this morning, and it got caught again. There you go. Look at that. It's quite tiny, and it is 1 terabyte SSD, as I said. So we need to be careful that we do not touch any of these contacts. Try to pop it out from the sides. There you go. And this is it, guys. This is 1 terabyte. Okay, and this one, as I was saying, this is a 4 terabyte one. But obviously that is noisy, that is slow. This is super fast. So we are going to install this here. Before installing it, I need to undo this screw. I don't want to do that way. Let me see whether I have a right connector here quickly. So now the screw is out, as you can see. Let's put it here. Install the NVMe. Not sure whether it needs to tuck in. I think it does. There you go. That's better. Put the screw back in. Whoops, this is a little bit magnetic, so I should keep hold of it. No, karo. So that's tucked in, and as you can see, for you, 1 terabyte SSD, and the performance on these are remarkable. This I'm going to be using for my own cluster of management servers. So I'll be having my vCenter here. I'll be having my vCenter running on it. I'll be having some backups like Veeam backup running on it, and some jump servers, VROps maybe. So this is all going to be my management cluster. Now let's get started with the memory, shall we? So the memory is basically from Corsa. What did I do? Don't worry, doesn't get damaged. DDR4, this is the most expensive memory you can get. If you buy a 16 gig of DDR4 memory, it's usually 55 pounds, but the moment you want to get a single DIMM of 32 GB, it goes 150 pounds each. So as you can imagine, the two of these cost me a lot of money. The way you install it, DDR4 basically comes with a slot, which you can see here. That is the way you put it in. So we'll be first installing the bottom slot, and as you can see, it tucks in with the notch over here, and it says DDR4 NUC 10F and B. So this is all tested memory which I have already checked that it fits in. There you go, it snaps in like that. So I'm going to walk you through how to install it again. So hold the memory, make sure you do not touch any of these contacts because this is only 1.4 volts or 1.2 volts, sorry. So a slight static can make it damaged. So you insert it cross diagonally at a 45 degrees angle. Make sure this won't fit it this way. As you can see, the notch is here, so it won't work. So it only goes one way. So it goes this way, and you can have the name on the top. So 45 degrees angle, you place it in. The notch is almost in, if you can zoom in. And now you press this inside and press it down and hear the click. And that's it, guys. So we have installed the 32 plus 32 64 GB memory and 1 terabyte NVMe M2. Now let's put it back together. So front facing that way, goes in. So pretty much done. It's nice and tight. Okay, so what we are going to do now is power it on. As you can see, so tiny, just love it. Okay, I am not going to install the ESX on the local disk. I have already got it installed on this, and imagine, can anyone guess how much is this USB, or rather this USB? Comment down below, guys. I'll give you the information at the end of the video how much size this USB is. So I'm going to place this USB in here because I have got ESX running on this, and this is built. I have burned ISO with the drivers for NIC burnt into the ISO. So we have to do custom ISO for NUC. If you do need ISO, let me know. I will give you open access to my Dropbox, so you can download it from there. So let's put all this together and open it and show you guys. Later, I guess. Okay, so let me quickly walk you through what I have connected. Obviously, in the front there's USB, so I have connected my keyboard in the front. At the back, I have two USB. I have used one of them to boot the ESX. So I'm booting ESX off this USB. I could potentially use the other one and install the ESX as well using the Rufus. So at the back, the network cable is connected. This is the HDMI for the monitor here, and then the power cord. That's all it is. Simple setup, right? So let's power it on and see how it goes. So once it's booting, you will be able to see it here. It's gone quiet. That's good news. And I can see the num lock on here, and there you go. The hypervisor is booting. I have to admit, there were quite a few challenges when installing this. If you are trying to just download the ISO from the VMware website with version 7 or version 6.5, it will get stuck on the installation saying that the network driver is not working, because as I mentioned earlier, NUC is no longer a supported version. VMware does not come up in the hardware compatibility list, HCL. So what we have to do is we have to download the NUC version drivers, the FNIC drivers which they call, and then basically burn it in the ISO. Then you will be able to do that. So there you go, guys. It has booted. This is i5 processor. I was thinking of getting i6 but i7, but there isn't any i6 at all, as you know. So I was thinking of getting i7, but I have seen the performance of my previous lab, and I never use a lot of CPU. It's always the memory. So 63.7 GB memory, which is basically 64 GB, and it is running the latest version 7.0. I have updated the build version. Now there is also some history around it. Even after building the network drivers, when I started doing some nested configuration, nested ESX, when we power on the guest OS within the nested ESX server, the actual VM, the nested ESX server VM, was crashing with purple screens. So thankfully, William Lamb basically posted a new version of drivers, and they said the update B of ESX 7, which is basically build 16324924, is having the fix for that. I have tested it. It does work, so we can power on the nested ESX now, and it does work, but sometimes it does crash, so be mindful of that. This is why I'm not considering to run any nested environment on here, and I'm only considering to run my actual management cluster. So let's talk about a little bit of the pricing. So the NUC itself was bought from overclockers, and it was around 380 pounds on its own without any memory, and the storage, which is M2. The storage basically was 300 pounds from Amazon, and the M2, which is the NVMe card, was 89 pounds from Amazon again. So altogether, it is a setup of nearly around 400 plus 300 roughly, which is 700 pounds. If you would have gone for i7, it would have cost you, instead of 400, 530 or something like that. So it would have cost you at least around 800, 900. And some people, some V experts, I have seen that they have 3 of these with i7 version 10 NUCs running, which is like nearly around 3 grand. I can see why, because the efficiency for running this NUC is a lot better, and it's very very friendly on electricity bills, and it's a lot easier to store anyway. Can you see that? That's simple as that. You don't need to worry about hard drive crashing and all that. It's all in this tiny box here. Alright, that's all folks. Hope you like my video, and don't forget to subscribe. Oh yeah, by the way, forgot to mention about this. This tiny USB is USB 3. As you can see, it has a blue color here. It has good speed, and it is 2 terabyte. Yeah, that's correct. It is 2 terabyte storage. Okay then, cheers, bye.